if you're truly honest, are you really organised with your money? I think is the first thing, because if you're not organised, you can't really answer that question whether you've got spare money or you don't. So I think having a plan that suits your personality, your mindset, is going to make you more efficient when it comes to money. And I think, so for me, as I've said before on previous podcasts, if I've got money in my account, I'll spend it. So mine truly has to go out the first day of the month so I can spend whatever's left. But some people, it's seeing the goal and how close you're getting towards that goal helps them squirrel away the more money every month. So yeah, I think you've got to work out what's going to motivate you and then put it in place in a sort of a system using direct debits or roundups or whatever it is, that means you can play yourself off, if that's the right way of saying it. But you can just, you can get the most out of the money that you earn. If you've got a limited company, then maybe it's about feeling quite frugal on a monthly basis with what you pay yourself. So you build up a lump sum in the business and then you whack a lump sum into the pension just before the end of your tax year. I think, yeah, there's lots of ideas, but you've got to find out the right way for you.
Yeah, I after our first ever chat, you said, you push people to put a lot into their pension. And I build up cash inside of my company. And I think a lot of it was panic about it might end.
Yeah.
But now what I do is I just reset to zero every year. Yeah. And then it kind of puts my back against the wall again.
Yeah, makes you scared.
It makes you work, yeah. And it's so tax efficient to pay into the pension. It's really good. What kind of personalities do you think exist? Because one thing that I had in the past was I thought the fact that I blow all the money in my account was like a thing I needed to stop rather than work with, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I try to beat that out of me.
Yeah, well, I think it's got to be about what makes you happy. So if I were to suddenly become frugal, I think I reward myself.
You said that like you wanted to spit on the floor when you said it. You're like, frugal.
How dare you?
You've got a lovely belt on, by the way. I saw when you came in. Nice frugal belt choice.
I think it would just. I think it depends what motivates you. So my money is an incentive for me to work hard that month in the office. And so I treat myself the following month depending on what goals I did or didn't hit. And that just suits me to a T. And maybe it's a luxury of being self-employed or running your own business that you can do that. But different personality types, there's the worrier. So there's people that squirrel away so much cash and don't allow themselves to live a little. I have a lady at the moment who I think I've mentioned her before, but I feel sorry for her. She's got plenty of money, but she won't have a shower because it costs more than a bath. And so things like that, money can get people wrapped up into this negative cycle of thoughts, which I think is something that you need to disregard. But then I have people who are in complete denial and worry me because I've been trying to beat that denial out of them for, say, 5 to 10 years in their 30s, let's say. But as they get to their 40s and 50s, if I can't change their mindset into being sensible, they're not going to stand a chance of achieving their goals. Like, if you're not sensible in your 40s, you're not retiring in your 50s, are you? Unless you're in the lottery or you've suddenly got an overnight unicorn business. But yeah, so I think you've got to be realistic about what are your thoughts, so therefore what are your habits, and therefore what's going to be the outcome that you have.
I think that's I like your idea of you work for 1 month, then you reward yourself the next month, because I think before you talked about budgeting, and it sounds great on the podcast, but I earn a certain amount 1 month and less next month, so more than next month, so I can't really budget because
this guy earns plenty of money. I pay him to be here and he's doing all right.
So it goes up and down, but I'm like Damo as well. If I've got money in my bank, I'm going to spend it. So we went to Oktoberfest in Germany and I had like an Oktoberfest budget, and I'm like, okay, all the money in my bank account is getting spent before I get back to England, and it all got spent before I got back to England. So for me, it's like, I think I like the idea of at the end of the year, you then take everything you've got and then you put it in the pension, because month to month, I find it really hard to budget.
But would you have money left at the end of the year if
Probably
you did that?
not.
I don't think you would.
Well,
you spend and then work.
Yeah.
Like that's you're like the opposite to Lisa.
I do like quarterly not quarterly, random sporadic investments. So like this month I might not invest anything, next month I might not, then the month after I might put like $4,000 in.
Well, I
something.
met you invest everything that you earn from the podcast.
Yeah.
So that like fills your eyes up.
Yeah, it does.
It? Yeah,
he's a good friend. He knows I'm not disciplined like that. But
I mean, the way is to do that is your money in account is not your spending account. So your money in account, maybe it could be a regular savings account, maybe, and then you pay yourself out of that a fixed amount, so you feel like a salaried person, to get rid of your boom and bust mentality.
This was a clip from our episode with Lisa Conway-Hughes, financial advisor. We talked about small changes you can make to make a big difference in your life. Check out the full episode right here.